Today I'm gonna be breaking down one of my favorite projects and showing y'all how I get that clean mix every time.
In the bed, I don't feel right jumping out in front of bed. Little bitch say she was Chanel Celine. I told her to get what you want. The ICC, my bitch, and I put double D's inside of my gun.
Flaming shit, he got burnt with that fire. He can't take no more. And that switchy like a oven, cause it baked your bro.
I'm gonna go through the exact vocal chain I use while explaining why I made the certain choices I made. Alright, so before we actually get into any of the details of the song and mixing it, we gotta hear what the raw vocal sound like. Like, we gotta hear what it sound like coming straight from the booth, straight from the microphone, no effects, no plugins.
Chanel Celine, I told her to get what you want. The ICC, my bitch, and I put double D's inside of my gun. I don't know why these niggas keep on playing with 9, like we ain't gon' slide. Ain't down 19, it's 24, and niggas still die. This ain't a regular Glock, my shit gotta switch on the back when I'm up in that ride. Well, it's the last nigga that I shot.
Now I'm gonna play the fully mixed version from the top so y'all can hear the difference.
Too many dead niggas inside the wood. I took me a puff and they packing a punch. My scene in the bed, I don't feel right jumping out of the front. Bad little bitch say she was Chanel Celine. I told her to get what you want. ICC, my bitch, and I put double D's inside of my gun. I don't know why these niggas keep on playing with 9, like we ain't gon' slide. Ain't down 19, it's 24, and niggas still die. This ain't a regular Glock, my shit gotta switch on the back when I'm up in that ride. Well, it's the last nigga that I shot. Can't even go ask when that nigga done died. I ain't even tryna talk about Lil Mo, that nigga.
It's a crazy difference no matter if you got headphones or you listening to it on the phone. You can hear how the raw recording had potential, but it lacked so much. It was thin. It wasn't in your face as far as the volume and the punchiness. It was muddy. It just lacked a professional edge, and it just lacked the sound that you would want in your final mix, or in a mix that you send it to your client, or a mix that you about to drop on YouTube or Apple Music or whatever you about to do with it. To get from that raw sound to this polished mix, I used a combination of EQs, compressions, reverb, delays, and some final touches with automation and saturation. I'm gonna walk you through each of these steps and each of these plugins so you can see exactly how I shape this sound. The first plugin on my vocal chain is the NLS channel. This is an analog style plugin that adds subtle warmth and character to your vocal. When I say analog feel, I mean more warmth, more body to the vocal, because that's what analog used to sound like back in the day. It's the first thing in my chain because it gives the vocal more of an analog style sound right from the jump. I usually start with the drive on 0, and then as the song play, I turn it up to my liking.
I told her to get what you want. My bitch, and I put double D's inside of my gun. I don't know why these niggas keep on playing with 9, like we ain't gon' slide. Ain't down 19, it's 24, and niggas still die. This ain't a regular Glock.
Next up is a EQ, and the EQ I use is the F6 EQ from Weez. I like this EQ because it's super flexible. You can dial into each frequency range and get super specific on what you want to take out or what you want to add, and you can just listen to certain parts to see what's going on. That's why I like it the best. All right, the first dip I got is around 358.
Puff, they pair the punch, they pick the punch. Not her front, not her front. Don't get you one.
The reason I chose 358 is because to me it sounded super muddy and unclear. So because that frequency sounded so muddy and so blocked up, I chose to take that one out. Another thing that I like about this EQ is that it has a built-in compressor. So with each band that you make, you also have an option to dial in a level of compression, controlling that frequency 10 times more than a regular EQ. After that, I use the RVox compressor. One thing I like the most is that it already has a built-in attack time and a release time. So that means all you really got to worry about is getting the vocal to a perfect level. It's simple, but it's effective, and it gives you more presence and punch.
Niggas still die. This ain't a regular Glock. My shit gotta switch on the back when I'm up in that ride. Too many dead niggas inside the wood. I took me a puff and they packing a punch. My scene in the bed, I don't feel right jumping out of the front.
Alright, so if you got your vocal like that, that's not good. That's not a good sound. You boosting the volume too much, so it's gonna sound like it's clipping, or it's gonna sound like it's too big. Don't want your vocal to sound like that. You gotta pay attention to the meter. So look, if I keep the vocal at 18.6 and say, all right, I want to fuck with it right there. I want to keep it right there. Look.
Too many dead niggas inside the wood. I took me a puff and they packing a punch. My scene in the bed.
Your loudest points is already hitting 7, 6. And that's already too loud, so it's gonna be clipping. Dial your compression in until you add like a even overall sound. And when I say even vocal, I mean level of your vocal consistently hitting 12 or your vocal consistently hitting 13 or 15 or 18.
Why these niggas keep on playing with 9 like we ain't gon' slide? Ain't die 19, it's 24 and niggas still die. This ain't a regular Glock, my shit gotta switch on the back when I'm up in that ride. Was the last nigga that I shot, can't even go ask him that nigga.
So mine's consistently hitting anywhere from between 11 and 18. Nothing is going above 13, nothing is going below 18. Then I use the C6 multi-band compressor, which I use to control different frequency bands separately. This is great for me because sometimes I might need a little bit more compression on the low end than I need on the high end. Or let's say the low end is too muddy and you just want to take out one specific sound. You can go in and do that with the C6. So this is a great way to attack the vocal early on and make it smooth. Alright, so on my C6, you can see I did a boost around 187. I did a boost around 187 because I wanted to add some more body into his vocal. Like, so I'm going to turn the C6 off so y'all can hear the difference.
The nigga side the wood, I took me a puff and they packing a punch. My seat in the back, I don't feel right jumping out of the front.
Now I'm about to turn it back on.
Too many dead niggas side the wood, I took me a puff and they packing a punch. My seat in the back, I don't feel right jumping out of the front.
That's just a preference that I chose to make on this specific song because I felt like it needed more body and it needed more low end just to make it pop. I did a dip around 67K. Why I do a dip around 67K? I did a dip there because I felt like some of the frequencies around that specific area was a bit harsh.
What?
So yeah, it's a basic C6, but that's what I used it for. Next is the SSL EQ. The SSL EQ is one of the most important plugins in my vocal chain. Why? Because it plays the biggest part in shaping the vocal. Then comes Fresh Air by Slate Digital. It opens the vocal up and it adds like brightness, so a lot of high end.
Ain't a regular Glock, my shit gotta switch on the back when I'm up in that ride. Was the last nigga that I shot, can't even go ask him that nigga done died. I ain't even trying to talk about a little move, that nigga get crazy when going on edge. Y'all say I want some smoke and something in the air, a little move start waving his blood. I got a homie that get up close on all the ops, they say they get sent. Y'all heard some shit got shot, just noticed somebody got left every time they eat bent.
Next up is the UAD Distressor Compressor. This compressor right here is one of my favorite compressors. It controls the dynamics the best, like, and then there's so many other knobs on here that you can use to shape your vocal as well. It's a great tool to add aggression, clarity, and saturation to your vocal without stripping it from its natural sound, without adding too much characteristic to it. But you also have the option to add as much character you want to it. So that's why I put it up there as one of my favorite compressors there is. Alright, compressor off.
Too many dead niggas side the wood. I took me a puff and they packing a punch. My seat in the back, I don't feel right jumping out of the front.
On.
My bitch, and I put double D's inside of my gun. I don't know why these niggas keep on playing with
Off.
9 like we ain't gon' slide. Ain't die 19, it's 24 and niggas still die. This ain't a
On.
regular Glock, my shit gotta switch on the back when I'm up in that ride. Was the last nigga that I shot, can't even go ask him that nigga done died. I ain't even trying to talk about a little move, that nigga.
After that, I hit it with another C6 just to tame the vocal and give it more presence. Then we have the Abbey Road Saturator. I use this saturator. This is one of my favorite saturators. This is like almost one of the only ones that I use for my vocal right here. I love this saturator. It adds more analog style saturation along with all the other analog style plugins I have on here. This just tops it off. So because it's a saturator and because it gives analog saturation, it adds a lot of warmth, it adds a lot of color and presence. Yeah, this is one of my favorite plugins right here, the Abbey Road Saturator. There's so many knobs on here that you can tweak. It's EQs on here. You can use this as a compressor, you can use that as a saturator. It's just so much on this saturator that you can do and use to shape the vocal along with everything else that you use to shape the vocal. And then you can blend in what you want to, how much of the effect that you want to go into it. And you can choose how much of it you want it to be mixed into the vocal right here. So this is one of my favorite drones right here, I ain't gonna lie. So this is the saturator off.
Too many dead niggas side the wood. I took me a puff and they packing a punch. My seat in the back, I don't feel right jumping out of the front.
This is the saturator on.
Too many dead niggas side the wood. I took me a puff and they packing a punch. My seat in the back, I don't feel right jumping out of the front. Bad little bitch say she was Chanel Celine. I told her to get what you want. I see my bitch and I put double D's inside of my gun.
Finally, I use a de-esser just to tame those harsh S's and them T's. Like the heavy C's and the S's. That's everything now. It's a complete mixed song. Everything right there. Now it sound like a song that's ready to get dropped.
Too many dead niggas side the wood. I took me a puff and they packing a punch. My scene in the back, I don't fall right, jumping out of the front. Bad little bitch say she was Chanel Celine. I told her to get what you want. I CC my bitch, and I put double D's inside of my gun. I don't know why these niggas keep on playing with nine, like we ain't gon' slide.